On November 30th, 2019, UFC makes it official. Khabib Nurmagomedov, and that's actually how you pronounce his name. Well, to the best of my ability. Anywho, Khabib and Tony Ferguson will fight for the UFC lightweight title at UFC 249. Also in November 2019, the first known case of what would turn out to be a catastrophic global health pandemic is identified in Hubei province, China. For SB Nation MMA, I'm Shaquille Majuri, and we think you know where this is going. The global health pandemic has turned the world upside down, but through it all, the UFC and its relentless president Dana White have insisted on holding events, especially UFC 249, which was to take place on April 18, 2020 in Brooklyn, New York. Here's a timeline of how that worked out.
Earlier today, New York actually declared a state of emergency to prepare for the...
Please. Don't talk about this, please. I don't know, because I see how they cancel like Champions League, Serie A, like soccer, because I'm a very big fan of soccer, but I don't want to talk about this, please.
At this point, the UFC makes the call to shift all of its events to its in-house facilities in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so Columbus, the governor today issued a ban on public events over 100 people in a single room. So we're actually going to move that event to the Apex, our arena here in Las Vegas that we own on our campus here in Las Vegas. And we are, we're working directly with the Nevada State Athletic Commission and Executive Director Bob Bennett on implementing a process to screen athletes before they can. I talked to the president and the vice president of the United States today about this, and they're taking this very serious, and they're saying, be cautious, be careful, but live your life and stop panicking. Everybody is panicking, and instead of panicking, we're actually getting out there and working with doctors and health officials and the government to figure out how we keep the sport safe and how we can continue to put on events.
But those experts and government officials continue to tighten restrictions across the country.
Yeah, listen, we're ready to go on Saturday. We have a fight. We're ready to go live on ESPN Saturday night from Fire Lake Arena, Indian Reservation in Oklahoma City. We have the card, we have the fighters, we have everything. But obviously, the president just spoke to the country and basically said now, it started at 50 people in a room, which made it difficult. So we complied. We took all the fans out, and we made sure that there was as few production people in the room as possible. We pulled it off last Saturday. Now they're saying there should be no more than 10 in a room, and that's impossible. We can't do it. And we've complied with everything that the government and that these doctors have said to do. And, we have no choice now but to postpone these fights. So we're postponing the next 3 events. But Tony Ferguson versus Khabib, April 18th is still on, and that will still happen.
Let's not get greedy, Dana. Let's make this really simple. All we need is Tony and Khabib. We don't need an effing undercard. So you need in America. I don't know what they're doing in Australia. In America, they're doing 10 right now, like 10 people minimum. So our maximum. You can't have more than 10 people in a group. So you got Tony, Khabib, 3 judges. But you could also have the judges be remote, so you don't have to actually have them there. Mm-hmm. You have a referee, you have Dana, you have Bruce Buffer, and you have Joe Rogan maybe. And maybe, hey, look, we don't even give, maybe we take the judges, make the judges remote at a remote location, and we give them each 2 coaches or something, or 1 coach. I think there's a way to do it to keep it under 10 people.
Well, we're training like usual, except that we're shut down. The gym is shut down by the government. Or the not the government per se, but the local politicians. The mayor shut us down, so everybody shut down. If you're a necessity type of business, you can stay open. Unnecessity type, which is my business, you have to close.
Yeah.
So we are closed at the present time. We can stay open for very few people, and it's Khabib only, and the people that he's training with for the fight. And a couple other people, but it's very, at the present time, there's hardly nobody here because that's what we have to do to keep it. But as far as the motivation for the fight, still the same. We just wait to see what's going to happen. But we're training like we have a fight because we need to.
Behind the scenes, the UFC is scrambling to fill out UFC 249 with fights from other cancelled cards, such as Francis Ngannou versus Jairzinho Rozenstruik.
Obviously, I haven't fight for a very long time, and I really want to fight. But at the meantime, it's not just because I want to fight. I mean, like, if I feel like I'm not safe, I want to be part of it. But I'm just part of it because I feel like it's safe. Because nothing worth my health, you know. I got tested. They got me tested from the COVID-19. So I guess they tested other fighters too. So which is kind of like a positive thing and like make you feel a little bit safe to get close or along with those people.
But on March 26th, a fateful decision. Khabib and his team attempt to fly into Abu Dhabi, which he was told is the likely location for UFC 249. But the border into United Arab Emirates was closed to foreigners, forcing Nurmagomedov to fly back to Dagestan. Then on March 27th, Russian President Vladimir Putin announces all flights in and out of the country were shut down. That led to a lot of confusion as to whether or not Khabib versus Tony was off, and in the end, Dana White did announce that Khabib would no longer compete at UFC 249.
Now that it looks as though Khabib Nurmagomedov is not going to be able to get out of Russia, maybe I'm a little surprised that they still seem to be all in, because all indications are that that fight has gone away. But, you know, I had trepidation, certainly, when I got the call for that March 21st show. Maybe it was going to be Oklahoma. I didn't really know how I was going to get there or leave once I got there. But now I feel like it's kind of my obligation that if the fighters are willing to be there and we can all get tested, then I got to make an effort to be there, right? I mean, if you're thinking about it from a fighter standpoint and everything they have to deal with, training elements, everything displaced, weight cutting, everything that goes into it for them, kind of feel like at this point for me on an individual level, the least I can do is try to show up to an edit trailer or wherever they want me to call this fight and you know, try to be of service.
But while he was finally revealing the full fight card for UFC 249, Dana White refused to reveal the location.
Why keep the location a secret?
You know, because there's a lot of creepy people out there, you know, and when they find out the location, they start attacking the location and making phone calls. So this keeps the creeps at bay.
It didn't take long, though, for the venue to leak. The New York Times confirmed that UFC 249 will take place at Tachi Palace Casino on the Santa Rosa Rancheria Reservation. Because the event is on tribal land, it is outside the jurisdiction of the California State Athletic Commission. With pandemic-related causes rising and states pushing more stay-in-place etiquettes and quarantine measures, chances are this isn't the last twist or turn on the road to UFC 249. I mean, who would have thought trying to host an MMA event during a global pandemic would be so gosh darn hard?
No, I mean, I wouldn't see this as a win for mixed martial arts. I think a lot of people are on the firm opposite side of that and think it would be a win if the UFC fell in line with everybody else and just shut things down, you know, indefinitely.
If you follow the protocols, this fight can happen safely. I believe that in the right venue. On television, because there's not going to be people in the venue. So I think it is possible. But at the same time, I think it's a way to hype up the entire world, if you think about it. I mean, this is a real opportunity where in fighting, we're the fastest growing sport in the world. And in fighting, we personify the idea of when you get hit, get back up and keep moving. If there was ever a sport that made sense to air during this virus time, it would be an MMA fight where the whole world is frozen, but you can't kill us completely. We still have some entertainment going on. And we're staying safe when we do it. We're not letting the virus completely ruin every ounce of everything in the world. And I see it as somewhat of a motivation. Look, we can still live life. We can still grow. We can still fight things. I mean, the entertainment that will be seen from that fight card when all sports are shut down, I mean, think of how many eyes are going to be on that. People are begging for entertainment in sports, in the sports realm. And if you could have it to where just two people could show up safely, be televised, and someone maybe commentating, explaining to the world what's going on in this sport, this could be the most seen fight in the history of ever.
How do you think the UFC 249 fight card will change from what it is today to Fight Night?
Brett Okamoto from ESPN.
Today we got a call from the highest level you can go at Disney, and the highest level of ESPN, and the powers that be there asked me to stand down and not do this event next Saturday.
Let us know in the comments section below, and if you like this video, please hit like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell for more MMA goodness just like this. And most importantly, stay safe.